Happy birthday to you. Yeah, that's right, guys. Today is the 1 year anniversary of me doing Hidden Driveway. So on March 16th, 2024 is when I did my first interview with Bappy. And in that interview, you might remember that I played rock, paper, scissors with them. And at the time, it was, it was a bit, it was a joke, it was me being silly. Because I was like, who's doing that in an interview? That's so, stupid. But not so stupid anymore, huh? Because I kept doing it in all the other interviews. And I've played rock, paper, scissors with over 50 different people. And they've all performed in a variety of different ways. Some winners, some losers, some close calls. And I think it's finally time that we figure out who is the best rock, paper, scissors, who's the worst. Because, I think these are all pretty quality S-tier artists, great people. But, the rock, paper, scissors skills, that's a whole different story. So the way this is gonna work is for the higher part of the list, the less moves someone takes to win, the higher they'll go, and then vice versa. If they lose, the less moves it takes them to lose, the lower they will be on the tier list. And to get us started with Bappy, the very first interview, it's actually a pretty good place to start because they just beat me 2-0 outright, and I didn't get anything in there. So they made me look like a bit of a fool, bit of a loser, and that's okay because I did beat them in their second interview that just came out. But I'm only counting their first interview that we did for this. So yeah, Bappy, S tier, go to artist, go to rock, paper, scissors player. And unfortunately, I can only say one of those things about the next artist, be Pastoria, because he actually was the first person to ever lose. So he lost to me 1-2, but we did tie once during it. So I feel like that's a solid like C tier, Not too shabby, not great either. Sorry, man. But on the flip side, Mercy Noel, he did beat me 2-1. We also tied once, so I feel like that's a bit of a B tier. And now, man, I hate to say it, but for Doomsday, listen, they're great at graphics, great at art, but rock, paper, scissors is not one of the strong suits whatsoever, unfortunately, because they lost to me 0-2, and yeah, really just unfortunate. And Ghosty is almost in the same category, except we did tie once, so she's not great at rock, paper, scissors, but could have been a lot worse. Yeah, Donald Paranoia, also lost. Great artist, but also lost. But we did 1-2 and we tie once, so I feel like C tiers are pretty solid standing for that. So I was having a pretty cool win streak there for a little bit. But that was until Juno popped up and it just whooped my ass. They beat me 2-1 and we didn't tie at all. So I feel like that's deserving of a B tier. If it was 2-0 and we tied once, maybe that'd be A tier, but I think top of B tier, pretty good spot for Juno. And for these next two interviews, these are two very big, inspos for me, which is why I'm kind of saddened that their rock, paper, scissors skills were just not there, because I happened to beat both of them 2-0, no ties, no nothing. Yeah. It is still really crazy to me that I've gotten to just talk to both of them after because I've been a huge Orange Shaking fan for a long time, been a big Kevin fan for a long time, and yeah, really cool they got to happen. But I do wish they were better rock, paper, scissors, because that is a little unfortunate, I'd say. Someone that was very fortunate though, because this game was a little bit tricky, because Porcelain did beat me 2-1. However, we did tie 5 times, which makes for a great opponent, pretty close game, but I think that makes them a little bit worse at rock, paper, scissors. So I comfortably put them in the B tier, I'd say, behind Mercy and Lowell, because they were tying so many times. and they came out victorious, but I think that docks them a little bit, just a little bit. Moving on though, so I know in some of the interviews, especially with this one from Kyoshi Certified, there's this little bit I have where I tend to run through all the members and talk about how most of them have lost, and I think that was valid low-key, because for both Isaacs and May, they both lost 2-0. Didn't get any moves in there, no ties, no nothing. So I know I dog on Kyoshi Certified a lot for their RPG skills, but judging by this performance so far, I think it's kind of worth it, kind of deserved. And Luca did lose as well, but he beat me 1-2. So I feel like, or no, I beat him 1-2. Excuse me. So I think I put Luca around here. I feel like that's fair. And now is the first, I think the first A tier that I'll put in here, because Elijah B beat me, 2-0, but we did tie twice during it. So she's pretty awesome, pretty cool. Not as cool as Bappy though, because they didn't 2-0 me. You got 2-0 me to get that S tier. Cameron Scholl, also super cool. Me and him have an EP out together called Cameron Scholl, which I'm gonna plug right now because it's my channel. I can do whatever I want. Go listen to it. But he did about the same as Elijah, except he's a little bit better. He's a little bit better because he only tied me once during that. So maybe I was just so impressed by his rock paper scissors skills that we had to go make a whole project together. I think we talk about the lore of it in the EP debrief video, but maybe that was the real reason why. Someone else that I've been working with recently is Orange, and unfortunately his rock paper scissors skills, not there. I beat him 2-1, so I would say that's around C tier. Probably right here, because we didn't tie during this game, unfortunately. And for this next one, I had to get two different icons for them, because J-Coin Drive is in the interview with Peyton, but Peyton had his own video for different things, so I used two different icons. And this was, I was kind of confused how I would do my streak for, because there's two people, because I know I always talk about if I win or lose in the videos. And J-Coin Drive beat me 2-1, and we tied twice, so I feel like that's solid B tier, probably around here or so. But then Peyton lost 0-2, but we tied twice, so he was holding on there a little bit, which I think puts him at the top of D tier, above Ghosty, and they're in the same collective, so that's pretty cool. Someone that's in my collective though is Chapters 226, who is the GOAT. That's bro, and he also happens to go in A tier because he beat me 2-0, but we tied once, so that's pretty awesome. And I know it's been a hot minute since we had an S tier, but GZ Killing Me, the guy behind Weather Guy, the guy that organized the communion show, pretty cool person. He's S tier. He just beat me 2-0, which, as you're seeing now, it's not very common in these whatsoever. So that's pretty cool that happened. Not so cool that I lost, but that's how it goes. And another person that's pretty cool is Young Rat Poison, who I've been working with a lot recently. But unfortunately, his rock paper scissors skills weren't working great, because I beat him 2-1. But we did tie quite a few times during it. We tied 4 times, which I think would put him at the top of C tier probably. Because he was holding on for a good while there, which is pretty good. And Alfred Morose actually did the same thing. He tied me twice, which I feel like would put him. No, Alfred's not F tier. They are C tier, which I think puts them about. Yeah, I think it's C tier. C tier feels right. This next one though is kind of weird. I know I said for Bappies I was only counting their first interview, but Beach's Midnight Style is kind of a weird case because I had to record his interview 3 different times because my power went out the first time, and then my Wi-Fi cut out the second. Well, no, the second time it went great, but then there was a virus on my computer and I ended up losing the file. and he actually won in that second recording. We got through the whole interview. But in the third one, he lost, but he tied me 8 times, which is just like ridiculous. So I feel like for that alone, he has to go in the B tier. Even though he lost in his video, I think like that win previous one definitely deserves to, like, you know, knock him up a tier. But we gotta go down a tier now, because when I did Five Fingers Noah, his interview, he lost 1-2, and there were no ties, no nothing. That's like very bottom of C tier. I'm sorry, Noah, but it's okay, Noah, because someone avenged you in the next interview, because Zyber actually beat me 2-0. And I think going into that one, I also knew I was gonna lose for some reason. Like, I just had that feeling, because he's just got that, like, the Icelandic swag, which is, you know, unfortunate for me, pretty fortunate for Zyber. But yeah. But the person after Zyber, which is Ruby Red, was not so fortunate, because she lost 0-2, but we did tie once. So I feel like that would be like a solid, like, D tier. Solid D tier. Although if we're talking artists I just listen to in general, Ruby will be up here. That's GOAT. But yeah, D tier, unfortunately. And another C tier artist, for rock paper scissors anyways, would be Black Smoke Rises, who lost 1-2, and we tied once, which I feel like would put her like around like there, I think, or no, above Luca. I think everyone here tied at least once, like around there. Yeah. And it is now time for another C tier artist, actually, because Exophilo, we did 1-2, but there were no ties. They lost. Put him at the end. Yeah, and then for Bloodslide, so she also lost, you know, to me 1-2, but we tied twice during it, which would put her almost as high as Young Rat Poison. Like, she'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna put her. I feel like she put up more of a fight than Alfred though, just like based on vibes. I'm gonna put her here. That's like a little guy with a big nose. Now that I'm looking at it. So okay, yeah. And then for BPIV's interview, there was not a standardized method to his when we did it. He asked if we could do his rock paper scissors match like verbally for whatever reason, which I think was the move, because he beat me 2-0 and we tied once, which put him in the A tier. Pretty awesome. Very awesome artist. If y'all are not familiar, but check him out. But an artist that is, you know, maybe not super awesome, and if y'all watched his interview, I know the tone is pretty different compared to the other ones, but Diversify, he lost 1-2, and we didn't tie at all in it either, which I would say that's a C tier, but it's Diversify, so I'm putting him in D. I know I just broke my method, but Diversify, it deserves to be in D tier. I'm sorry. And someone that does not deserve to be in D tier would be One End, because despite losing to me 1-2, he did tie me once, which I think would put him around here. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4 KSC members that have all lost rock paper scissors in the same tier. That's crazy. That's crazy. But a KG member also lost to Baruta Boy, lost to me 0-2. And he tied me once, but that's a D tier, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Baruta. Oh, for Ty Cox's interview, this one was really close, from what I remember. Because like he was telling me that he was in my head, he knew because he watched the other interviews, and that kind of messed me up going forward for the rest of them afterwards. Because it made me realize that, like, yeah, people can actually watch the interviews and like learn what I do, which was kind of scary to me. And it was clear that he knew my patterns, because we tied 5 times, but he ended up losing to me 2-1. I beat him twice, which would put him at the top of C tier, because that's the biggest fight someone's put up in that category. And then There was a big fight put up the next interview too, actually, for Roadman, because he beat me 2-1, and we tied 5 times, which would put him at like the end of B tier around. Because again, like, you did put up a fight, but you want, it's like golf. Yeah, it's like golf. You want as little moves as possible. So Roadman's like a solid B tier. Coasty though, also 2-1, but we only tied once during it, which is pretty good, pretty great. I think I'll put her like around here, I think, right? Does that feel right? I think that feels right. Oh wait, no. There we go, that feels right. And something else that feels right is putting A-Hype in B tier as well, because he beat me 2-1, but we tied twice, which would put him about here. Oh, also, that's the longest losing streak I've like ever had doing these, because I lost to Roadman, Coasty, and A-Hype back to back to back. It's pretty disgraceful, guys. My bad. I'll do better in the future. I promise. And I actually did do better, because when I went up against Astrid in the next interview, I beat her 2-1, and we tied once, which that's a classic C tier territory. It's pretty common tier as I'm seeing now. We tied once. That'd be like here probably, right? Yeah, we're right there. And then Zapdiox, same thing. We tied twice during theirs, which would put them around here. Yeah. Ooh, and then unfortunately, I know it's been a while since we've had an F tier performance, which sucks because it's another S tier artist. I was bumping to Partis Music so much when we did his interview, but I beat him 2-0 and didn't put up a fight whatsoever. So that's an F tier, man. I'm sorry, but he got avenged really quickly, because both Danny Kyoko and Shiseth both beat me 2-0, which, you know, super impressive. That's also 2 Fiji Island members, so same collective, and they're both S tier, which, as you're seeing now, pretty exclusive, rare club to get up there, and they both did it. That's pretty cool. And it's also pretty cool that I beat Mason Infinity 2-0 as well. And again, S tier artists, go to artists, one of my favorite artists ever. Which I'm noticing that's the thing. If I like their music a lot, they tend not to. Oh my god, they tend not to do so well, which is unfortunate. And how I went for Cartel's interview was pretty close. I beat him 2-1, but we tied 3 times, which would put him close to the top of C tier. But J1000, I did also beat him 2-1, but we didn't tie at all, which would put him at the bottom of C tier. So opposite ends of the spectrum here. And then this was another. So for this one, I don't have separate Sarah Center images. So just know that one of these is Robin, and one of them is Dominic, because that's the order that I did them in. And Robin, he beat me 2-0, but we tied once, which that's like classic A tier material. And Dominic also beat me, but it was 2-1, and we tied 5 times, which would be around here, right? I feel like, yeah, right there. Yeah, okay. So because we tied 5 times, he'd go there. But Serious Center, go to group, go at a rock, paper, scissors. That's pretty cool. And unfortunately, yet another KSC member that is not good at rock, paper, scissors, because Ghost 2CB, they also lost to me 2-1, and we tied once. So I feel like that will put them solidly like right here, about put them right next to Amit. That's like a. When they say KSC militia, that's what they mean. Yeah, and then Stay Widow, she beat me 2-1, and there were no ties, which we put her squarely at the top of like B tier, so like right here pretty much. Except no, even higher, because Mercy we tie once. So there were no ties whatsoever. So yep, right there. And then this next one, it's a V-shaped minute style situation again, where with Dreeks, we recorded their entire interview. I edited it in full, and as I was exporting it and uploading it to YouTube, I ended up deleting the file to clear up space, because I thought that if I'm uploading the file, it's already uploading, then it's good, it's chilling. And I was stupid and didn't realize that when you delete a file that's uploading, it's gonna delete the upload, silly. So I ended up losing the file and we redid their interview. It went pretty good, but unfortunately, during rock, paper, scissors, they lost to me 2-0, no ties. But they beat me in the previous one, and it went on for a good while too. So I'm putting Dreeks at the top of C tier for that to like balance it out. I feel like that's the most fair way to do this. In another fair match of rock, paper, scissors, I beat Death Kitty 2-0, but we tied twice. So she put up a bit of a fight, but putting her in D for Death Kitty. Actually, Diversify has to be the top, but Death Kitty will be right below him. Yeah, and then Nunu.Wave, I beat him 2-1, and we tied twice, which would put him around here. Corey Mist, I beat him 2-0, we tie once. This is another one of those like huge inspirations, great artists, and they're just not great at rock, paper, scissors. I'm starting to think that maybe it's because they channel all this like talent and skill into their music and not into their rock, paper, scissors playing abilities, which is pretty unfortunate, honestly. I feel like you want to be a jack of all trades, but I guess then you're a master of none, which, you know, doesn't work out and is not good, so can't have that. And yeah, and now for the final artist that I'm putting on this tier list, we have Wizard Pem, who beat me 2-1, and we tied 6 times, which I think would put him at the almost end of B tier. I'm putting him above VHS Midnight Style, but just because that little stipulation, but overall, yeah. So here we go. I hope that settles it. That's the official, you know, Hidden Driveway rock, paper, scissors tier list, the ranking, how everyone did. As you can see, there are a lot more losers than winners, unfortunately, but much love to everyone that won, much love to everyone that lost. You know, y'all fought a good fight, and I just wanted to say, you know, thank you for one of your Hidden Driveway. Like, it's really crazy to me that I've gotten the chance to, you know, of course, play rock, paper, scissors with all these artists, but also just to get to like talk to them and know them on a personal level and get to support everyone has been a really cool experience. And just wanted to say thank you for all the support. It's been an amazing year, and hopefully an even better 2025 this year. I will say that uploads are going to be a little more infrequent because I'd like to put more focus on my own music going forward. I'm not going to stop doing these, but it'll probably be like every other week or so. And if there's like some people I really want to do, maybe I'll break that rule and like do them weekly for a little bit. But yeah, this has been the Hidden Driveway rock, paper, scissors tier list. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a good, fun, silly time watching. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all.